Good day, educators and carers of the children 0 to 4. Once again, this is Heleen Johnson from Preschool Consulting, bringing you valuable information around the early learning and development areas. I hope you've watched our intro, the first video, because that would have given you an overview of the 6 topics of the early learning and development areas. Never mind, let's get on to ELDA number 1. Early learning and development area number 1 is the ELDA that handles well-being. So you may well ask me, what on earth is this well-being that people talk about? How do we care and educate children around well-being? Well, let me explain to you. First of all, it is about making sure that babies are well nourished, and toddlers and young children. Looks a little bit different on each of these age groups, but it's about their nourishment, the fact that they will eat healthily, that we will help them to make good choices around their food, and that we will encourage them to have a healthy lifestyle. Then secondly, it's also about their hygiene, making sure that our own hygiene is absolutely beyond any problems and complications for the children, for the babies, and then with toddlers to teach them to actually follow good hygiene practices. And then, of course, with the young children that are already potty trained, for them to make sure that they wash their hands before they eat, that they wash their hands and keep themselves clean, that they will not put dirty food in their mouth. So hygiene is a second aim within this ELDA of well-being. The third aim would be that we want the children to grow up in an environment that is safe, not just physically safe, but also emotionally safe. And what we say in our workshops is often that please don't shout at them, not shout at the babies, don't shout at the toddlers, and also not at the young children. It threatens them when you shout at them. So we want them to grow up in an environment where they can freely explore, they can feel emotionally safe, and they can come and ask questions. Then there's also in this ELDA, point number 4. I call it ELDA 1.4, which is the physical well-being of the children. The fact that they will develop normally, that there will be a typical pattern as they develop their gross motor development, their fine motor development, and that we will be there to facilitate that process, that we will do nothing that hinders them from developing normally. For instance, with babies, that we will not keep them in confined spaces, strapped up in a seat where they can't move, cross their body midline, reach out to touch things, but that we will raise them on the carpet, on a clean blanket, rather than strapped up or kept in a cot. For the toddlers, it would mean that we encourage them to explore, climb onto, into, over, so that they physically develop. And for the young children, that we will encourage them to also take part in physical activities and really enjoy it. The fifth aspect of well-being would be that we want the children to be resilient to stress. We don't want them to succumb to feeling threatened, feeling vulnerable. We want them strong. And there's a very particular way that you can manage children, all of them, the babies, the toddlers, and the young children, to make sure that they develop resilience. So there you have it. 5 aims within the ELDA number 1, well-being. Can you remember them? It's not so hard. Let's go back. First and foremost, we want them to eat, so it's good nutrition. We want them healthy, so it's hygiene. It is safety, the way we speak to them and giving them a warm atmosphere to grow up in. Fourthly, their physical development. And lastly, to create resilience. I'm sure you can remember that. Until we talk again, stay inspired. This is Heleen signing off. Goodbye.